So I suppose I better do an update of what I've been up to as I can remember and when I can remember. The current week is week 14, week 15 of the year, I think it is. And so it's going to come up to the 1st of April tomorrow. So last week was a week which I was working through a number of different parts. Also had a party involved and some of the other things that go on with being a parent and normal social life kind of stuff. So in terms of the way that the week rolled out, Monday was a work day. So I was up and down from Loughborough, which meant that I was on the Genesis. It's nice to get 2 workouts on that day because it means I can actually do a decent workout on the way to work, and then I can do at the end of the day a decent workout on the way back home again. Fits in nicely with the plans. I've got the power meter on the Genesis, works all very well, fantastic. Really quite chuffed with that. The downside of that was that it's got to the point where the wheel which I had built up a number of years ago, dynamo wheel for the Genesis to keep it going, unfortunately the bearings have got to the point where it's starting to really jutter and jidder as you're riding along, which means that it's probably that time that it's going to get retired. So it means that I need to now get a new wheel built up. I need to source the parts and work out which one I'm going to go for, what kind of hub. Dynamo hub again. Keep the robustness, keep the bike going for some of the longer Audax stuff and the winter riding, but it did have a knock-on effect on some of the other plans. Tuesday was going to be 5 hours out on the road. However, as I was setting up, I had the Enigma. The Enigma was all set up, and then just at the very last second, I managed to damage the drinking system that I normally use, the hydration pack, which meant that I couldn't use that, which meant I would need to take it off. I need to put bottle cages back on again. I need to sort the slot out. So instead, I did 5 hours in the shed. Worked pretty well. However, because of the delay trying to get stuff sorted at the start, it meant there was a delayed start time, which meant I finished later, but it wasn't too bad, so that was okay. One or two funny bits with digestion, but I was more prepared for riding on the road, not riding in here, which kind of did influence things a little bit. Which took me on to Wednesday. Wednesday was a recover in lunchtime. Oh, Tuesday night I actually went for a bit harder. I didn't sit in zone 2. I actually went zone 3s, 4s. Had fun. It was good, quite nice. There was 1 or 2 spin and twin kind of stuff on Zwift, so I knocked off 1 of the 2 of those challenges while I sat in here because I had the opportunity to do it. Which then went to Wednesday with the recovery ride. Wednesday was nice. Thursday was my son's birthday, I think. Was that Thursday? Yeah, it would have been Thursday. So I didn't ride Thursday morning. It was quite nice. Instead, I had an additional rest day and didn't do any riding at all Thursday at all. Enjoyed just being a dad, having Rufus wake up, do his presents, all the rest of it. And now I've got 2 teenage kids. It's a bit scary. I never thought I'd have that. Well, there you go. Life passes and creeps up on you in certain ways. Anyway, 2 teenage children now. Which means that Thursday I didn't do anything. Friday morning, after eating way too much chocolate through Thursday and bad diet, came down Friday morning. I ummed and ahed about should I go out on the road or not. It would have been nice to be out on the road. It was damp. It would have been wet. So the bike that I would have picked would have been the Genesis. However, the Genesis, because of the wheel and all the rest of it, I didn't want to take out. So I was back in here, which in a way was a good thing because it just didn't work. It just didn't hook up. It just didn't want to work. You know how like sometimes you'll see all that Instagram crap that comes through and the people serve advice and the rest of it. The broad strokes one is that it works in thirds. 1/3 of your riding is going to be amazing. 1/3 of the riding is going to be and 1/3 of the riding is going to be crap. I don't often go into that bottom third in terms of the crap ones, but I think Friday was one of the crap ones. Oh well. So that was that. Then on Saturday and Sunday, I didn't do anything. It was recovery pretty much. I could relax a little load. Saturday, there was stuff going on with people moving around at parties. We went to my daughter's concerts because she was playing and all the rest of it. So that was lovely, just being family. And then Sunday, Anna was out doing training all day on Mother's Day, so she got free rein. She was off doing her thing. Me and the kids went into town, which means that we could have fun and relax a bit. Rebecca could do a climbing lesson. Me and Rufus could be boys in town, do boy stuff, kind of thing. And that was it. So that was my week last week. In terms of the progression that I'm making, what I start to look at is more in terms of things like heart rate per watt, and I can see that my efficiency is improving. My ability to maintain higher power outputs is going up as well. The different training programs I'm doing is working, pushing my body to work harder. I can certainly see that I'll take a step up and then it starts to plateau, then having to change something to make it so I can step up again before it plateaus and step up again to keep it going. It's working. In terms of confidence going into some of the stuff that I've got going on, seeing what the efficiency is doing, seeing what I'm doing in terms of efficiency compared to previous years is very encouraging. There's one or two bits where I can see that when I was back in a number of years ago, short distance stuff, and I'm talking like 60 kilometres here kind of thing, 60 to 100k, I was much faster and a different reserve availability, but only for a shorter duration, whereas now it seems to have moved across more into the longer duration, but I haven't got reserve for those shorter periods. It makes no here nor there. I'm not exactly going to be chasing my old comms. I'm getting old. But the process that I'm seeing in terms of development, especially as I have power meters on more bikes now, and it's got more accurate tracking rather than the estimation. The estimations that I'm seeing to do Strava are way out. Actually recording it with the data from the power meters makes a huge difference, which I'm finding a massive benefit. One of the things I have had to do, which is slightly, it's a little frustrating, I had got a separation between some of my nice bikes and my routine bikes. In terms of the nice bikes, I was using time pedals. Some of cities were set up with time pedals, whereas my bike to work and commute bike and the bike that's normally in here for the turbo trainer are all on Look Keos, because I used to use Look quite a lot. Back in the 90s I used to have Deltas, and then it went on to Keo Fit ones, and had been using those. I then moved across to try some time ones. Time ones I found better. I like the engagement more. But then I got the option of having a couple of sets of power meter pedals, a Power Tap P1 and for Vero, whatever they are. But they're on the Look cleat, which means that if the Enigma is now going to be on Look. The Genesis is on Look. The last bastion of my little excursion to time was on the Concorde, and over the weekend I got some colour matched pedals arrived that were looking good for the Concorde. So they've moved across, and now I need to switch over my cleats on my cities from time across to Look, because that's going to be the one that I'm going to be using for more, unfortunately. I did like the engagement at the times. But that's it, until somebody brings out a time power meter, but I don't think that's going to be anytime soon, and if they do bring it out soon, it's going to be a long time until it's affordable by me. So that's what my choices are. But this morning, because I'm recording this on the Monday rather than, I was hoping to do something, record it over the weekend and publish on the YouTube channel, but instead of actually doing this on the Monday, so this morning I actually got my Monday morning ride in. Went out for an hour and 50, took the Concorde, flat route, working on different power zones, blasting along at really quite a good power. Really enjoyed it. By having a route which was going to be more flat and also less junctions and turns and gradient changes, it meant that I could actually focus on, can I stick at the power setting for that period of time, etc., which works better. The Concorde, though, because it's on the system that's working once, has got a power tap hub rather than pedals, so I get slightly different data. but it all nicely contributes to where the big project is going and where my end objective is. So apart from that, it's all working well. It's all getting better. I haven't done anything in terms of the administrative side on some of the other bits and pieces that I'm supposed to be working on. One of the things I have to do today is I need to submit my choices for London, Edinburgh, London, start times, bag drop-offs and all the rest of it as I start to prepare for that. And also looking at what I'm going to do tomorrow night, because tomorrow night's going to be Tuesday night, 5 hours. Do I go on the road? Do I stay in here? Do I do zone 2? Do I actually have some fun? Trying to split kind of like the head and the hearts because they often conflict with each other rather than work on what the legs need to do. And that's about it, I think. Mind things like chain rings for mountain bikes and how the tolerances and at some point I need to replace that. I realise how knackered the bottom bracket is. But there you go. That's this week. Well, that was last week, and we'll do an update on this week at end of this week. Although throughout the end of this week there is actually climbing competitions, gigs, trips to London, and God knows what else. A festival at a school which is my kids are playing in and all the rest of it. So there we go. That's going to be interesting updates, isn't it? If I can fit that one in. That might be the following Monday, but then the kids are going to be at home. I'll work it out. There you go.